good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, who managed to surmount technical issues and has 4 minutes to spare so that we can discuss what's going to happening right now. We're still in the first round of the World Team Carcassonne Online Championships 2024. And the week is finally going to reach its conclusion when we're going to try and catch a glimpse of 3 back-to-back matches, starting with the duel of between Argentina and Spain. Spain was the 4th place finisher, so they would be the favorite based on their previous tournament history. However, Argentina, very strong team. They managed to defeat Japan last year. I think. I don't quite remember, but basically they have also high-rated players. They have a new player on the team this year with screen named Big Nacho 610, who participated in the Carcassonne Champions League, so they won the national selection. And I think Lord Trooper either didn't play last year or played or played very little. So they're making up some changes, and they have, I think, on paper, a stronger lineup than Spain's team this year. However, Spain has experience. Oscar Iris, Oscar Bustamante, national championship of Spain 2022. Also Matcan Locoello, both players who have delivered a lot of points for Spain in previous matches. So overall, we should expect an even matchup. Belgium-Peru is going to come afterwards. We're going to be focusing on that match, and we're going to catch a little glimpse of Brazil versus Catalonia. Argentina and Spain are both in a group where, how to say, well, I don't envy either of those teams, because look at this. Spain and Argentina are strong in themselves, and then Poland and Japan. They have to compete with Poland and Japan for the top 2 spots to guarantee qualification for the playoffs. And Mexico have also already gotten 1 victory versus Lithuania. So we have 3 Spanish-speaking teams, or half of all the teams in this group in Group F. So whoever wins this match will increase their chances of qualifying for the playoffs significantly. Earlier today, Poland defeated Japan 4-1. So Poland had definitely had a strong team for years, but they couldn't quite make it to the very top. Well, with the most recent European Championship, they certainly delivered, and they'll be looking to repeat their feat this year. Hi, Hugo. So, we are going to follow the duel between Ale Rosario and Locoello due to the experience of these both players. I think it's going to be a roughly even matchup, and surely we'll want to have a little look at the play with a scrumptious screen name Big Nacho 610 later on. Do let me know in the chat which of the teams you're rooting for and who do you think is gonna win. Hi, Glavier. Alrighty. Let us... Who would I want? Oh, by the way, there's this cool feature, so you can obviously go to carcassonne.cat and see the website, but the thing that I like is that when they post the lineups for the matches... Where's that? Poland, no, Argentina versus Spain, that's the last one. You can just easily click the player's screen name and you can identify them immediately. Look at this, the Spanish team coat of arms with this little Spanish meeple over here. On the website of Carcassonne Spain, there's also a customized version of this meeple with haircuts corresponding to the haircuts of each player, but not in this version that they have of the website. And we can see that they are about to start. That's a little bit annoying. Right, hopefully they can start now. Now. Nope. Not yet. Yes, they have. That's interesting. Yeah, there we go. We will not be delayed. Witness the whole thing from just the very start. So, the Spanish player with a solid rating of 656 is currently outrating the Argentinian player quite significantly, but it doesn't matter that much. Of course, they were rated much more before, over 600 for sure. So Locuelo, 4 points for the city at the start. They're going to have the starting player advantage. Ale with the red meeples is looking to start a new city. The best spot for that, I think, is over here, pointing to the right and not giving back much to his opponent. An alternative is, of course, to go over here. Well, he does find the best spot and will be trailing a little bit behind the Spaniard. Start a 3-point road, at the same time make it harder to attack. Well, at the same time, a bit harassing the city, but Ale goes for the most efficient move, and I love that. 2 points for the road, and also pre-building a 6-point city with a Dorito, which is why Locuelo immediately wants to attack said city, create an attacking platform for said city, and at the same time start a new monastery. And there's nothing that the player with the red meeples can do about this, so instead they just go and start a new road. Black kind of forced to attack this city, but it is a gain for Ale because he now takes 4 points for a city and overtakes black on the scoreboard. Locuelo, however, with the second monastery, which should absolutely go over here, and it should be meepled. I know that he's... Oh, no. That's... I know why he didn't do that. You know why? He didn't want to go over here because two of these tiles... two of these dagger tiles have gone out, and maybe had black placed a meeple over here, red could have gone here with a city tile and then reduced the chance of these two monasteries getting completed to 50-50. But this actually doesn't happen often enough. And look at this. Just because the Spanish player got a little bit too cautious, they now have a significantly subpar position for monasteries. Imagine this tile with a meeple over here. And then what do you think of black's position? But now instead, Locuelo, despite drawing these fantastic 3 early monasteries, which will still give them the advantage, they will need to spend all this effort of building up these 3 monasteries separately, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tiles. 10 tiles is a lot of tiles to just be building monasteries. You want to really cluster up those monasteries to be as efficient as possible, but they didn't do that. And now they went and tried and block their own monastery. I mean, I also understand that because they wanted to make sure that there are 4 tiles remaining that fit into that square. And then when that city gets completed, the shared city between red and black gets completed, black is going to get 1 extra monastery point and a chance to retrieve this meeple. However, it seems a little bit too slow, and if I'm red, I'm not too concerned about black's monasteries right now. The thing that I'm thinking is I want to make sure that I have the meeple advantage for a long time, and I can use my scoreboard lead and my ability to deploy 6 other meeples to maybe be the first on the field, or maybe score some quick points. So you're saying for this stream you want to see Spain, Belgium, and Brazil winning? All completely realistic scenarios. I do believe actually that Belgium and Brazil are going to be the slight favorites in their respective matches, especially the Brazil, which just this year has an overpowered roster already. Hi, Victor. In the meantime, look at what Ale is doing. His idea is to be the first one on the field, to make sure that when black gets his monastery meeples back, maybe red will have developed some farmers from here and here. But the problem with that is that there are not too many squares to build cities on. Well, there are some more squares after this, as The play with the black meeples takes a lone city cap, hoping to finish the city and maybe even drop a farmer. But at what cost? This 3-point city is left open, and if Ale feels like it, he can actually go there right now and hope to draw a city cap and complete it. But he goes over here, which I have strong criticism for. I don't think that's how you play this game. I mean, there was a... No, I can understand this move. But disrupting your own city like this is something I dislike quite strongly. You see, this Dorito tile by red, could have gone over here. And then there would be an actual threat of finishing this city with a city cap and 2 Doritos. So it seems to me that red kind of hurt his own cause. Again, yet again, drawing a Dorito would have gone over here, whilst Loku managed to score 4 points for the road and build up his monastery further. And now getting a meeple back, and it seems that the time window for playing a meeple majority will have gone soon, as Ale probably will go over here and he'll be 1 tile away from finishing the city. There's still 2 tiles that left into this square. Both of the players with a similar meeple count. Black has an obscene number of monastery points. Hi, Kino. Glovator is saying black will draw 2 more monasteries and be very, very happy. This is certainly the plan. Over here and over here. This would be a ridiculous number of points, and it is absolutely not impossible to happen. Or, you know what could work? A curve over here, blocking this meeple, and then maybe a chance to draw the road monastery to complete these 2 guys. There's a lot of good things that can happen for the play with the black meeples. He builds up the roads and tries to block this, create a blocking platform against this square. So Ale now with a difficult choice. Does he go over here, start a new city and create threats of his own? Or does he go over here, sort of indirectly Ukrainian these 2 monasteries? Maybe hoping to make sure that if... Ooh! That's some strong move. That's very interesting. Of course, is a bit unlucky now because the Spanish player draws one of the 3 remaining blocking tiles against this square, and now there are only 2 tiles that fit over here. But the idea itself, I have to give credit to the Argentinian player for the creativity, because this move sort of secures an extra 6-point farm, potentially. And had Loku not drawn this tile over here, then Ale could have just taken the regular city cap and enjoyed 2 fields, 1 for a 6 points and 1 for 9 points. In the meantime, and he also manages to get a meeple back. So that was quick. He's going to be a considerable number of points ahead on the scoreboard. He decides to even meeple the road for insurance. Certainly an interesting approach. But I think his main idea is to get a city cap and put it over here. Make sure that the big farm is controlled by 2 meeples, so that black has 0 chance of attacking this, and this square is blocked. There are also some other opportunities, like somebody might want to go over here and over here. Loku Elo now drops a divider in his opponent's field, which I have strong criticism against. But Ale, in the meantime, draws one of the 2 remaining tiles that would have fit into this square, completes a 16-point city, and is perfectly happy with his 18-point lead. Still, Luis here with a lovely, lovely monastery cluster. And he can absolutely get all of these meeples back. There are still plenty of tiles that go into this square. However, red could play a restriction game at some point. I don't think they should go there right now. Exactly, they just simply pick up the 3 points sooner. And then maybe on their next move, they might play something over here, reducing the number of tiles that fit into this square. Loku now managing to connect. Interesting that they didn't choose to go over here. They first of all decided they want to connect on the farm. But then later on, like, what do we do about this red farmer? It's a big problem here, and this is the main criticism that I have for black for dropping these divider tiles earlier. What this does is that it makes field bigger because there are now 2 extra city caps which will turn into cities, which will turn into field points. But because black has and will have for a long time tied his meeples to monasteries, the chances of black winning the field outright actually not that great. So it is in black's interest to keep the field as small as possible to make sure that the field does not match the 3 monasteries in their scoring potential. Yes, self-evident, you nailed it. Black is trying to get involved in a big field fight with a meeple disadvantage. Both in the field and in hand, and it does not seem to look good. In those positions where you draw a lot of monasteries, very often the situation is that you can have either the monasteries or the field's control, and then you need to decide which one, or the tiles decide which one you're going to have, and then you win, maybe by a few points. But very often if you're trying to get both the monasteries and the fields, then you lose the game because you don't have enough meeples to accomplish both of these goals. Hi, La Casa del Sons. Ale, still debating where to put this Dorito tile. I'd probably... okay, that makes sense. But I take issue with just leaving a Dorito tile lying around. Well, surely Ali is going to meeple this. Surely he has to meeple this. Loku now has to pick up this city and try to build something up. That's why you don't leave these tiles like these. They're too juicy with shield. An alternative for Ale was to go over here and start a city/ruin for 6 points, just simply to make sure that they're threats. But if you're Locoello, I mean, you are suffering right now because this field has unified. There are 2 red meeples versus 1 black meeple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities on the field. That's 18 field points. Ale is more than 20 points ahead on the scoreboard, and he just drew 1 monastery to equalize this monastery. So Loku has these 16, but it's not going to be enough to compensate for the field and for the scoreboard difference. I think I see a strong move, what Ale can do. I think you can go over here. Look at this, over here. And place the city cap like this and drop off farmer here. And the idea is this. We have 3 meeples, so we get to play around with them. Then this would be blocking this square completely. I don't think that's the one, but okay. And then we would be blocking the square completely because there's 0 tiles of this kind remaining. And as red, we would also be creating an attacking platform against this city. But instead, Ale uses these tiles as a blocking tile. There is only 1 tile remaining that fit into that square, but there is 1. And I generally don't like to use value tiles for blocking when I'm ahead and when the block is only 50-50. So I do think it seems like excess conservatism here on the part of the player in the lead. Luis, in the meantime, really hopes to get another city cap soon as he sets up to complete for what's going to become a 12-point city. if he draws a city cap soon enough. And he's also being quite precise in the way he chooses to do that. He uses the concept of dagger asymmetry, because look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 dagger tiles are already on the board, and the one remaining dagger tile is this one that would fit right neatly over here to complete that city. Whereas had black placed this tile over here, there would have been one fewer option to complete this city. So the Spaniard is being precise. The Argentinian, with 35 seconds on the clock, which is not reassuring if you're rooting for Argentina, but so many good potential moves. The one that I'm thinking is going over here and dropping a farmer, but he blocks from not the side that I would wish. He decided to drop a farmer there. I'm certainly super surprised at that. I think we might witness a situation where the player with the red meeples is just treating these extra meeples like some luxury. But look at this, 3 versus 1 meeple advantage is a lot, but 3 versus 2 is not a lot. Oh, 2 versus 1 is not that much. And black could always draw a tile that goes here. There's still 1 crossroad tile remaining to finish this road and get a meeple back. Black could always draw a tile that goes over here to get 9 extra points and 3 meeples back. And of course, there's always the option to draw a tile here and complete the monastery. But none of that is happening, as Ale scores yet another 4 points and starts a new city at the bottom, but immediately Loco plays a standard tactic of expanding his opponent's city, but making it sure that red needs 3 more tiles to complete this city, at least 3 more tiles, and this is quite unlikely to happen. Locoello now needs to decide what to do with this. I think there are some good moves that can be played. So he might want to go over here. Oh, I like this. And protect the city, but not directly. But protect the city in such a way that blocks this guy from entering the field. And also makes it harder for Ale to draw a blocking tile. While a blocking tile still exists, he can still draw the 1 remaining crossroads like this and point it down, in which case this meeple will be trapped. So Ale, I believe, now should go here. Even though it sort of saves the square, the idea of adding 4 extra points to the road is certainly an advantageous one, but Luis now gets a meeple back from his road, only 17 points behind on the scoreboard, but he has an extra meeple in hand, and if he wins the road monastery tile, he does not have to put this over here. He can try and put this elsewhere, so maybe he can draw a city tile and then connect to the main field and equalize it that way. Maybe he can get a meeple back from here, then try to take a straight line, put a farmer like this, and then connect through a monastery through the outside. There are still plenty of options, but as the number of remaining tiles in the deck are dwindling, so are the different win conditions for Locoello, and it is looking increasingly good for the play with the red meeples, as this farmer managed to sneak in to the main field after all. I mean, it didn't sneak into the main field, right? This field is worth only 6 points, but there's always the threat of somebody drawing the monastery and this farmer coming into the main field and completely solidifying control over the field. That's why, contrary to normal, to this normal idea of indirect defense, which Locoello employed, I think a stronger move was to turn this city the other way and taking a lesser, slightly reducing the probability of completing the city, but at least making sure that that if he completes the city, it still fits the long-term strategy. as both players get shorter and shorter on meeples, I need to remind you that you have an endless supply of metaphorical meeples which you can place on the like button to help the algorithm. It really works. In case you're witnessing this for the first time, make sure to subscribe if you want to see that type of content ever again. It usually helps. Also, the bell notification button helps a lot. And if you're feeling excessively generous today, which I also would appreciate, I have enabled the super thanks button too. Ale Rosario, 33 seconds remaining. Certainly a bit iffy with the time management. The Argentinian fans should be a bit concerned. Simply a discard of the tile. Maybe eliminating an opportunity for a field connection, but actually creating a much better opportunity for a field connection. Locuelo can go over here, drop a farmer. I think this is what they should do, and this is exactly what they do. And now the Spaniard has a wind path, and the wind path lies through this monastery tile. All they need to do is just not put that tile over here, get some sort of road tile that goes here, get a farmer here, draw the road monastery tile, and win the majority on the field. Keep this farmer stranded with 6 points, or maybe 9 points if black eventually completes his city, but just do not allow this farmer access into the main field. So with this move, the chances for the Spanish player, despite being behind 17 points on the scoreboard, are looking exceedingly realistic. It all depends on the critical tile. They make a spatial move, but in the meantime, Ale Rosario draws the tile which black would have loved to fit over here. And get his monastery meeple back. I mean, of course, red is not going to do that for him. It's the last tile of its kind. All of the other tiles like this are on the board. We're probably going to see a 4-point move for the city, or maybe some sort of other idea. Maybe just expanding the city over here, hoping to complete this. I wouldn't do that. But we don't know what the plan of the Argentinian player is. Their plan is to be quite deliberate with their time. You notice that every move, they get their time ticking down to 30 seconds before making a decision, presumably counting points, presumably counting tiles, presumably trying to decide what could be the potential winning conditions for my opponent. But they get into a position where they're plus 21. And now a lot is going to depend on the road monastery. The field has been equalized with 2 black meeples and 2 red meeples. And now Locuelo can easily, I mean, if he wants to just go here and already try to connecting through a road monastery, but maybe some patience is due. Maybe his idea is to draw a city tile, place a meeple here, and connect like this. Not the easiest tile to place, the straight line. Thank you for confirming the results, Amiris. So Oscaridis and Texei, the 2 Spanish players, have won on their respective tables. Team Spain are showing why they came top 4 in the world last year. Ale Rosario still thinking where to use this triple city tile. Probably going to add something to their city, or they actually might want to go over here, drop a farmer, and attack the farm of yet another meeple. And the more I think about this, the more I love that idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are no curves remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are no straight lines remaining, So there are no regular road tiles remaining. There are no crossroads remaining. Wait, are there even road tiles to complete the connection? Well, surely if you go over here and you drop a farmer... so they decide not to drop a farmer. They just simply decide to eliminate that connection opportunity. But given that the road monastery is still in play, there is a winning combination for Locuelo here. So the winning combination is... there are no starting tiles. Okay, is there a dagger? 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, there's a dagger tile remaining. Remember we talked about earlier. So I think there's one of those remaining. And if he just like goes over here and meeples this inside of the field, then he can draw the road monastery and connect his farmer all the way into the field like this. And then he's going to win. So I do believe that this game really is coming down to the placement of the road monastery. Locuelo also managed to get closer on the scoreboard to Ale Rosario, who will now need to decide where to place this triple city with a road tile. He decides to simply take a lot of points. Oh, there's a win. There's a win. There's a win. Okay, he now needs to think really, really hard. There's a 50-50 chance for Locuelo to win this game. At the very least, a 50-50 chance. Maybe there is even something better. So first of all, same idea. We go over here, we drop a farmer, and we hope for the last remaining dagger tile, which still exists, and there's a 50% chance of getting that. Ale Rosario also down to 3 seconds. We gotta remember that he has to not go into the negative time in order to win. And given that Ale's 9 points ahead on the scoreboard, and he has a long road, and he has a 9-point field, and a 5-point ruin over here, and a 7-point ruin over here, it seems to me that the 2 extra monasteries are not enough to compensate all that difference. And the move that you have to play, you have to have faith in the tiles, go over here, drop a farmer, and connect into the farm like this. This is the win path that the Spaniard must spot, or he needs to come up with something even more spectacular. I don't see any other winning ideas. I'm not sure what the exact point count is, but let me think about this. Yeah, 16 points for the monasteries. These guys cancelled out, and Ale has 12 for the ruins, so that's already plus 21. He has 9 for this, so that's already plus 30, and he has 9 for the road, so he's plus 39. And of course, 16 points for the monasteries, so that's plus 23. Which means that if we go over here as black, then we win. Because we get this tile, we score... No. Oh dear. Well, he lost the game anyway because he lost the coin flip, but at least he should have tried. This makes me sad. Always, when players are afraid to risk when they should risk, this always makes me sad. And the saddest part is also that you can't go over here and drop a farmer because there's no tile remaining to complete the connection here as well. Because there are no road tile remaining. Oh, this is utter sadness. Wait, am I hallucinating even further? 1, 2, 3. There was a Dorito tile. So there were 2 tiles remaining that fit into that square, which made that move an absolute must. I mean, Ale ended up drawing both tiles, but black still missing an excellent chance to substantially increase the probability of their win from 0% to like 60-something. This is what happens when you play a little bit too fast. Well, anyway, the first game goes to Ale. We're gonna see the point difference soon enough. The field is shared with 18 points. And Ale has another field, 14 points. Yeah, so this means that Had Locuelo at least tried invading the field, this would have given him a great chance, but he didn't see that opportunity, which is why Argentina is the first to be on the scoreboard. They're going to have a 1-minute break, but we are going to switch to the play with screen and Matcan, who is just finishing up against Ignacio from Argentina, who represented the team in Carcassonne Champions League earlier this spring. And it looks like they're showing why exactly they were chosen to represent their country, because they do seem to have a lot of points. We're still yet to see the full picture. It is the last tile that's being placed and the points are counted. Self-Evident is saying that the chance was 83%. It was a little bit less because there were blocking opportunities. That's why I was trying to figure out how much it's going to be. So I think it amounts to 70-something or 60-something. I can't calculate that much on the fly. But anyway, like, you take even 60, even 70% over 0% any day. So it is indeed Ignacio who manages to win this game with a 2-point difference. No, with a 14-point difference, bringing Argentina a second point on the board. And these guys are about to start their second match. Not their second match, sorry, but their second duel. So far, 2 games won for each side, Argentina and Spain. Alrighty, they have just started. Matcan taking 4 points for the city, having the starting player advantage and taking advantage of that advantage. Matcan gets a nice configuration on top. This city dominating the bottom city. Big Nacho's tile without the shield. Matcan's tile with a shield. Plenty of attacking opportunities. Which is why, as Ignacio, maybe you go over here. And also at the same time try to put pressure on this square. For example, if a blue, that's the Argentinian player. Also nice meeple color selection to match the Argentinian flag. Something that a Matcan can learn from. Let's say if blue draws a crossroad tile that goes over here, then there would be 0 tiles remaining that fit into this square. So certainly something that he's looking forward to inflicting upon his opponent. With this tile, the Spaniard can't really defend against this threat, but it's still a good tile to start some cities, and he's probably debating between starting a new city over here and between doing something like this, trying to just completely take over the city, or at least putting pressure on the square, because now, as Ignacio, you probably need to go here, unify the 2 cities and protect against that threat a little bit. But maybe the Argentinian player has some other ideas, and instead he decides to start a fight for a big ruin, which I'm not sure how I feel about. But if I'm Matcan, I need to make a decision whether I engage in the fight right this or stay out of it. I would have probably preferred the other idea of pointing the city upwards and just trying to build a 6-point city on my own, but the Spaniard has different ideas. City fight, let's go for a city fight. The problem with that idea is that blue now just successfully completed a semi-block of the square. There's only 1 tile remaining that fits into the square, so there's a 50% chance that this meeple will never see the light of day. And even if this meeple survives, it might be a long time until Matcan actually draws the necessary tile, which means that blue will enjoy a temporary meeple advantage. Moreover, this meeple advantage will be exacerbated by the fact that these 2 guys, these 4 guys, are all involved in a brawl discussing who shall be the owner of this incompleted city. And the more meeples are involved in shared features, the more it favors the side that has more meeples in hand, which is Big Nacho. So even though Ignacio has 1 point fewer on the board, I probably prefer to play the blue meeples in this position in the long term. Big Nacho trying to disrupt Matcan's connection to the big city. Matcan can choose either to defend with a meep. Oh, thank you. Yeah, he chooses to defend. And actually, this creates a severe threat because if the Spaniard draws something like this, a divider tile, and a triple city, he will be left with a sizable, like, 18-point city or something like this in the center. It is not that unlikely to happen. Matcan, 2 extra points for the road, trying to harass Blue's city. Blue, now let's see how greedy of a player that is. An excellent move. They chose not to finish their city, but instead take advantage from both the road and the city elements of the tile, trying to build up top, preparing to complete a loop road, and also pointing the city cap in a safe direction upwards. Matcan getting a straight line to continue the monastery. Big Nacho getting a meeple back, 4 points in the road, meeple back in the hand, 7 versus 6 on the scoreboard. It is a tense position. Green, probably going to go over here, trying to prepare the completion of an 8-point city. You always want to be adding shielded tiles to cities which have good completion prospects so that you get that multiplied by 2 factor to your scoring. Well, that was quick. We're barely half an hour into our stream, and Oscar Bustamante of Spain, he's known to play very fast, and he's known to win very fast. He has defeated the Playlist Queen named Lord Trooper, and just like that, after only 38 minutes of play, Team Spain is up on the scoreboard, on the match scoreboard against Argentina. Sandy Blader has won their first game, a very strong Argentinian player, that's Santiago Iñiguez, who is, I think, more experienced than Spain's El Gran Ohio, so that result was sort of kind of expected. Ignacio trying to attack the city by a little bit. Matcan simply continues it in another place. Ignacio should probably take 3 points for the road, but he might be tempted to go over here and try to attack the city, which he shouldn't. Let's see what he does. Chooses to score 3 points for the road, 10 points on the scoreboard for the play with the blue meeples, and a fantastic tile for Matcan. This is almost a game changer. Not only does it add 2 extra points to the city, but it makes it impossible to attack. Big Nacho was going to go over here and try to attack that city, but instead, at the very least, he managed to connect to this city and prevent Green from drawing a splitter tile and leaving this guy stranded. So he has something going for him. But this threat of completing a 14-point city is certainly most unpleasant and needs to be dealt with soon enough. Matcan gets some monastery tile, and I would use this monastery tile as a monastery. I would go over here and then try to bam complete everything. The city is relatively safe, so he's probably going to get a meeple back soon. And the idea is that he shouldn't be afraid of being with 1 meeple only, because he's going to get another meeple back pretty soon. And there's still the option of getting the 4-point road back if he happens to draw the quadruple city tile. Now, instead, the Spanish player chooses to meeple monastery in a different spot, which I don't like. Because the idea of meepling here, it was actually very safe. These would have been the same 5 points, because this would be scoring 4 points for this, for the new monastery, plus 1 point for the old monastery. But this would also be setting up two 2-point moves in the future. So I think foregoing the idea of the monastery cluster was not warranted. The good idea about this monastery is that it's kind of trying to attack the city, and at the very least, Pignacio gave this guy an extra monastery point. But the downside is that it is next to a shared city, and in order to finish this monastery, Green will need to invest into a shared feature, invest a city tile into just completing the monastery, and that is a bit inefficient. But you know what? Inefficient schminefficient, said Matcan. I'm 10 points ahead of the scoreboard. I have 2 monasteries. I still have the better position, if you ask me. So that's why maybe he doesn't have that much to worry about. By the way, now look at this. Imagine this tile over here, like this monastery over here. Like how much better that would have been with the idea of drawing this tile soon and finishing this guy up. Well, Nacho here doesn't have a useful tile in hand. He could go over here trying to make the completion of this monastery a little bit harder. He could go over here technically trying to make the completion of this monastery harder, but this wouldn't work because he would putting his own city in jeopardy. So yeah, no really good move that I can see. Of course, we could go over here and attack this ruin, but it's not worth enough points, and there are too few connecting tiles and too many ways to disrupt these plans, which is why he goes for the blocking move. And I like it because look at this, just in time. If this tile weren't here, then Matcan would have placed this splitter tile over here, continued his monastery, and meepled this little city cap, trying to take over the city entirely. So a very timely move by the Argentinian, probably the strongest move that he could have played with the tile that he had in hand. Matcan still has a strong move with this tile, but it's very difficult to see. The strongest move that I see is this, and he finds it. I am impressed, because look at this. It has a triple purpose move. You start a new city. It's a quadruple purpose move. You add a monastery point over here. Then you pre-build the monastery spot with 4 monastery cards still remaining in the deck to make sure that when this tile goes here, then Green will be able to complete his monastery with another monastery. And you'll know that the best way to complete a monastery is with another monastery. But that's not all. He also leaves the city cap empty, which only he can claim. Because if Pignacio draws a regular city cap, Pignacio can't go over here because that would make his city vulnerable. Pignacio would need to go over here, and then Matcan would have time to draw a city cap tile himself and claim this city cap. And if blue doesn't draw a city cap at all, if green is the first player to draw the city cap, he can go over here and still take 4 points, and with tempo create a blocking platform against the city. But he now needs to recognize that this is not the tile to do that with. He needs to just continue his city at the bottom and just leave this tile alone for now. But it is tempting to go over here. Actually, no, it's not such a bad idea. You know why it's not such a bad idea? Okay, now we're on to something. This is not such a bad idea because all of the 3 extender tiles that blue could use to scoop up the city cap, all of them are gone, so that's not possible. But he still goes with the canonical move, which I initially suggested, 14 points ahead on scoreboard, starting a new city, and Ignacio now facing a difficult choice. Do we go over here or over here? If I'm the Argentinian, I'm probably tempted to play the canonical move and go over here, and I'm going to try and draw 2 out of the 3 remaining Doritos, right? It's a bit slim of a chance, but still, maybe it's worth doing. Because if you manage to go over here and draw a couple of Doritos, the scoring potential of the city is huge. There are some problems though. So let's say if we go over here, then if Matcan draws a curve, Matcan can go over here, score 3 points for the road with tempo, because that would be creating an attacking platform against this city. And this road configuration makes the city actually a bit less dangerous, which is why Ignacio recognizes all of this stuff and chooses to simply continue his city at the top and meeple a field. I agree with this farmer. He has the meeples to do that. Somebody will finish the city cap. This city is likely to be completed. This field is probably going to grow. There's also a way how this field grows if this guy gets a crossroads, somebody gets a curve, and then even this city comes into the main field with a bunch of green squares added, of course. Green here with a strong multi-purpose move with a straight line, restricting the field, restricting the city, and protecting his monastery at the same time, because it's now harder for blue to block this monastery. And this is also pre-building a future monastery, because let's say if green draws a monastery with a road, he can go over here for an 8-point move and just be super, super happy about this. But Ignacio now completes a nice 10-point city, starts a new one. I think now we see a first misstep from Matscan, because if I were Matscan, I would have actually cleaned up this city cap first and kept the other meeple over here. And the reason for that is because there's always the option for green to draw a tile that goes over here. And we want to do that before the city gets completed, because let's say if we get a monastery tile, then this square is vulnerable if something like this happens. So you can get your new monastery meeple trapped. But it doesn't matter, because blue decides to take the risk of his meeple trapped just to take out that dangerous 8-point monastery spot from green. Because you never know, green could have had another monastery like this in hand, and certainly blue does not want to allow to green to have it. Matcan, excellent farmer here. Just lovely play. And the idea is that if blue manages to draw a curve and finish his monastery, this will automatically let green farmer into the main field, and the field will be tied. And now Ignacio has a variety of options, but which one do you choose? You need this tile everywhere. You want to go over here, and this is exactly what he does to create the threat of completing his city. But you also want to go here to finish your city. And you also want to go over here and drop a farmer as blue, hoping for a curve, getting your farmer into the main field, finishing this monastery for 9 points, getting a meeple back, and preserving a 2 versus 1 majority on the field. Green, taking a 3-point road, creating another attacking square against blue's city, but not enough time, as blue draws an ever-important barbed wire tile that fits into this square. I'm sure he's going to complete his city, get 10 points, get a meeple back. Now equal on the scoreboard, more meeples, and this situation is looking pretty good for blue. So Matcan needs to do something about this, and I think a synonym to doing something about this is either finishing this monastery or drawing the quadruple crossroad tile that fit into this square. And this is precisely the stuff that I was talking earlier about, how the Spaniard finds himself in meeple trouble in this game because he chose to engage in the city fight and tie up a lot of meeples from both sides in a shared feature, whilst he himself has a meeple which is semi-trapped, or at least he will be awaiting his release for a long time. It seems that the parole judge for Carcassonne prison has not had his lunch, because the tile that would give green the meeple back is not coming and not coming and not coming. And this is what we should expect statistically. Blue, with this monastery, defends the square. Now Matcan finds it difficult. He's in a difficult position. Like, do you go here? Hope for a 50-50? No, he decides to simply complete the monastery for blue, hoping to get a monastery tile himself. And this move is certainly understandable. He just wants to score as many points as possible. And even though he has placed his last meeple, he has some curves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's still 4 curves in which he can get a meeple back, in addition to a road monastery. There's still some combinations of 3 tiles possible that can give his monastery meeple back over here. And of course, there's still the 1 tile remaining that he can draw to get this meeple back here. But Nacho now can and should do this brilliant move with a farmer. And now there is no winning in this position. Well, for Matcan, because like either you block everything here and here, in which case you're trapped without meeples, or you draw a curve and get your meeple back, but in that case, big Nacho's meeple comes into the field, and now Nacho's not even go over here. Nacho's gonna go over here and keep this guy trapped, so Matcan trapping himself. That was certainly way, way premature. Honestly, it does seem that the Argentinian is playing way, way more precisely than the Spaniard in this position. But the Spaniard gets greedy, and I think it's not justified at all. Why would you give your opponent a meeple back for no reason when you can connect over here? So both players exchanging quite significant mistakes. Thank you, Amiris, for confirming that Texi won his game 2-0, and Spain is actually just 1 jewel away from winning the match this quickly. I see that most of my viewers seem to be rooting for Spain. Anybody rooting for Argentina? Just curious. Just want to keep it balanced. Matcan, okay, finds a good idea to equalize it. He wants to, first of all, build some features that give him meeples back. And there's still 2 Doritos remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So if he draws both of these 2 Doritos, he'll be able to finish this city. So that's nice. This will give him like 10 or 12 points and a meeple back. Actually, that will give him 14 points, because the 2 remaining Doritos are 2 Doritos with a road and a shield, so certainly a nice idea. And then he can draw this tile and get a meeple back and maybe fight for the equality on the field. Maybe that's his idea. In the meantime, Big Nacho getting 4 extra points on the scoreboard. He has an advantage of 2 meeples, but now Matt can finally get a meeple back from the monastery, and it's game on. 9 extra points on the scoreboard. However, Big Nacho gets the tile that Matcan would have loved for his city. Now the city is much harder to complete. It's still possible. It's still possible if he gets the last remaining Dorito like this and the splitter tile as well, because one of these guys is still in the deck. So don't discount Matcan just yet. Yes, the field is only 12 points for now, but it will grow bigger. First of all, once a straight road goes over here, then this city will be added into the field. Once green completes his road and somebody gets a curve, then this city will be added into the field. Positionally, this field has immense significance. In the meantime, I'm going to update the scoreboard to reflect Texi's win. Still, the 2 strongest Argentinian players, at least by rating, are still winning in their respective duels. So Argentina still has a chance. So there is a chance you might hear a new anthem today. Well, actually, it's guaranteed because the next match we're going to watch is Belgium versus Peru. Neither of these teams have won on stream yet. Okay, Big Nacho decides simply to discard the tile, but actually it's not just a discard. I think it's a very smart move. This move is made so that Madcan can't draw a city cap and attack this ruin and try to connect through a triple city tile. Because if he does so, then somebody will be able to block the square. But Madcan has other ideas, as he is one tile away from completing a 12-point city. Not much that Big Nacho can do about this. Probably just score some 2 quick points, and then maybe Madcan can draw the last remaining starting tile, go over here, drop a farmer, and connect into the field through a curve. 2 points for the road off screen at the bottom for Big Nacho, -4 on the scoreboard. But Madcan, oh, they must be kicking himself. Was that a miscalculation? I don't think this was. I still like Madcan's move. But of course, he drew the tile that would have fit into that square, so he could have gone into that square, and so on and so on. Now I think the best he can do is go over here. Add yourself a monastery point and maybe create some volatility in the position. Try to create an opportunity for yourself to maybe connect to the city, like this. I'm not sure if that's what he should do, but given the fact that Blue has control of the main field, I would be tempted to do that. Blue also has the meeple advantage. Actually, you know what? I have a crazier idea. Crazier idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me think. Yes, we're gonna go over here, and we're gonna meeple the city cap. And then we have 2 threats. We have a threat of drawing a Dorito plus triple city tile to eat up all this big ruin. And then we can also draw like a straight line to finish the monastery with 9 points. And we have a threat to draw a starting tile, or maybe a city with a crossroads to go over here and finish the city. So I think Madcan needs to find this. The whole concept, the whole point of that is to create a double threat. And even if you get one of the meeples blocked, the other ones will survive. Thank you for confirming that Loco Elo has equalized his game against Ale Rosario, and now Spain is only 1 game away from winning this match. But Madcan decides not to meeple that city cap just yet. I like this move too, as long as this tile goes here. Big Nacho getting a 6-point field. Now Madcan needs to decide. Maybe he wants to go here and give away the field and just meeple the... and just try to complete the monastery. There's still a splitter tile that goes here. Wait, actually, why don't we do that? So let's say we go here, and then we get a splitter tile, and then we try and meeple this, something like that. It's a very, very tricky position, because here you need to decide on what your win condition is. Do you want to fight for the field, or do you want to compensate for the field elsewhere? I kind of feel that the compensation approach is worth it, because 4 extra points, okay, these monasteries are equal, but you have 3 extra points here, and you have some points here. Now he needs to decide whether to meeple the road. I wouldn't, but I would be wrong, because Big Nacho would be meepling this road. Madcan knew they were prescient. They needed to make sure that nobody but themselves are able to claim this road. Some high-level pre-endgame from Madcan. Big Nacho gets a monastery meeple back. 9 points on the scoreboard. Not the best tile for the Spaniard. Needs to think. Excellent move. Trying to block some connection opportunities to this city. Still, he found something mildly useful to do with an overall useless tile. He has no meeples, but he has threats. And now, Big Nacho actually has a crazy move. Like, maybe he wants to go here and expand Matcan City, but make sure that Matcan can't complete this anytime soon. I don't think that's the way to go. I think that the way to go maybe is over here, trying to make it harder for this guy to finish his monastery. Or maybe just taking 2 points and hoping to outrun his opponent. Because it is now the Argentinian who is 5 points ahead of the scoreboard, but he makes the blocking move, and the Argentinian still keeps getting these straight lines. Not much that he can do. Matcan is waiting for the Argentinian to place this shielded Dorito tile. He might start to loop road with it at the bottom, depending on the number of the remaining curves. I feel that equity-wise, actually, it's a good move to go here. Because then, closer to the end of the game, you can draw a curve and drop a 3-point farmer with tempo. I kind of like that idea. I don't think there's really much better that we can do, but it is up to the Argentinian to decide. Hi 71 Knives. Hi Nico. I see that the Belgians are here. We're still watching the previous match, and of course we know that Belgium versus Peru is starting now. We will come to that match a little bit later. He starts... Oh, he pre-builds a ring road. This is interesting. Okay, okay. The Frenetic Can is now making a blocking move because there's really not that much that he can do, and yet another curve is drawn by Big Nacho, and that was such an important tile. He gets 4 points for the road, and he also gets 3 points for the field, and I think with that move, the advantage probably has become insurmountable, because look at this. The blocking move paid off like a charm. He's not able to complete his monastery. Big Nacho now gets a lovely tile. I don't know, go over here, take a 4-point road. That is the highest scoring move. Or actually, it's more precise maybe to go over here and drop a farm, hoping to drop the last remaining splitter tile to go over here and score 7 extra points. So that would be a 10-point sequence for 2 moves. I don't think you could do much better. There's still a tile that goes over here that can help Matcan finish the city. There's still one barbed wire tile, the crossroads with the city cap, but in order to have chances at making it somewhat close, he would need to draw this tile like immediately. It's quite unfortunate for the Spaniard that this meeple, although well placed, has been stuck here for a long time, because look at this, one curve here, another curve here. It's just that the curvy tiles have been drawn by the Argentinian. 4-point road decides go for the equity move, and one meeple back finally for Matcan, but that's going to be too little too late, as Big Nacho gets a splitter tile, which is going to give him 4 points. So that's an 8-point sequence on the last 2 move instead of the ideal 10-point sequence. But still should be enough for him to win the game with the main field, because the main field has 18 points on it. Well, surely there's no better move than scoring 4 points for the city. He's maybe trying to work some magic here, try and find other point scoring opportunities, but there aren't any on this board. 4 points for Big Nacho, bringing his scoreboard lead to 9. Now finally we're going to see Matcan finish his city and drop a farmer, which will equalize him on the scoreboard and maybe put him slightly ahead, but I believe that it ain't gonna be enough due to that field. So a very close game this ended up being, and I have to admire Matcan's effort towards the end of the game, but I think Green missed his chance early in the game with this monastery. Choosing to start 2 monasteries in different places instead of a stacking approach, it's what cost them just because building a monastery next to a city piece can be very, very awkward, and as a result he was waiting for this tile for a long time, and after it came there was already a blocking platform in place and he wasn't able to finish this monastery altogether. And only an 8-point loss for the Spaniard, but we congratulate Team Argentina for finally getting on the match scoreboard, and for Big Nacho for this 2-0 defeat. So we have to look at the decider between Ale Rosario and Loco Elo, which I'm pretty sure is happening sometime soon, or close to approaching its conclusion. Okay, I'm not sure if we're gonna have to watch this. I think that Spain just wins this match and there is nothing Argentina can do. And you know why I'm saying this? I'm saying this not because of the 5 points extra on the scoreboard that Locoello has. I'm saying this because of these menacing, daunting, evil black monasteries that Argentina has no way of coping with, because Locoello just drew a fantastic tile and made a strong move. They've saved the 2 monasteries just as Ale Rosario was going to place over here and block these 2 monasteries. There are still 7 straight lines remaining that fit into this square, and with that move, the Spaniard will gain 2 points for the monasteries, 1 meeple back, building up the second monastery, bringing it closer to completion. He'll gain access to the 6-point field, and then there's still the idea of pre-building this road, but also now I think, incredible mistake by the Argentinian player. He failed to attack this city, and just in time, Locoello drew the tile that gave him this 10-point city and a meeple back, and honestly, I think that's it. So it's something that's very difficult to come back from. I'm sure the Argentinian is going to give his best try. For example, a monastery tile is great, yes. Controlling this road, yes. Locoello going over here and dropping a farmer. Oh, that's got to be a little bit painful for that guy. But Ale Rosario, okay, he has some ideas. He's now building a lip-shaped city at the bottom with the idea of drawing a Dorito tile and a triple city tile and scoring 4, 8, actually up to 20 points, depending on the type of triple city tile that he draws. So certainly this ain't over yet. Rosario now with a choice. Does he finish his city, which would help black get into this shared field, or does he play more of a cunning move going over here, making it harder for black to complete his city? He might be inclined to do the latter simply because of the grief he may experience due to the fact that he just missed the opportunity to block black city earlier on. On the other hand, you have only 11 points, you're minus 15 on the scoreboard, you want to get something on the scoreboard, some meeples going, and then maybe you can attack the field a little bit differently later on. So for example, yes, exactly, he wants to go over here, then he wants to draw a road tile, and then place a farmer over here. I think that's his idea. Locoello taking quick points, 3 points on the left. Rosario now surely has an interesting choice again. He could go over here and farm, which I kind of like. But he... Oh, okay, meepling the road does also make sense. I would have prioritized the farm. Actually, wait, if you're Locoello, you have a great move. You can go over here and meeple the road too. How about that? Securing both monasteries, and there's still 6 regular road tiles that fit into this square, but instead he chickens out. He wants to help Ale build his monasteries, and he should accept this help. But I understand Locoello because he wants to attack this square next to the city. And actually, it's a really decent move, because if he gets a crossroads, and there's still 5 crossroads remaining, if he goes over here and points the pointy part of the crossroads over here, then this meeple is trapped. There will be no tiles at all remaining to fit that square, because look at this, 3 roads over here. 3 dagger tiles, this one, and this one, they have all gone out. So this is certainly an interesting idea from Locoello. I would have loved the equity move over here. Rosarino, of course, also considering this move, but I wouldn't do that. I think this is like, just because this would be spatially so damaging, it's not the time to be meepling 7-point monasteries. Take a 5-point monastery in a better position. Look at this, look at this, look at this. It's so lovely. The stacking approach wins the game. You go here, you take 5 points. This is 1 extra point for this other monastery. You're preparing to go over here and finish this monastery, get a meeple back, harass the road. Another thing, if you have a monastery over here, then you're controlling this square, because your opponent cannot start attacking your city from here without adding 1 point to your monastery. So with all these considerations, I do believe that this is the best monastery placement, and after long deliberation, the Argentinian player finds it, but the Spaniard also completes his own idea. That was a very interesting exchange, recognizing the many crossroad tiles remaining, and just as Ale was going to save his meeple, he gets his meeple trapped, as Locoello managed to successfully complete his road, start a new city, and completely destroy the prospect of developing this meeple. Nearly more than 20 points ahead on the scoreboard. Red has climbing back to do, but it ain't over yet, because Red still has the threat of completing the slip-shaped city. That's 20 points, that ain't nothing. Red still has the 2 monasteries that equal these 2 monasteries. And now he plays a very interesting move. He now pre-builds this road for himself, finding this road end, and potentially he was actually threatening the block of this monastery, even though that's not something that's actually going to happen, because Locoello immediately draws the curve that fits over here. He's now thinking whether to drop a farmer. Don't. Okay, thank you. So Brazil Catalonia is happening now. I think we're going to have a little look at this, because I hear that something interesting is happening in Gustavo Arruda's game. In the meantime, Red is continuing with the plan of creating a ruin. This city can score up to 18 points. I think the best way to deal with that is actually to leave it alone. But Locoello has a variety of damaging moves. Nah, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't worry about it. Like, if I were Locoello, I would just let my opponent finish the city, and I would do one of 2 things. I would either go over here and try connect to this road, equalize this road, and wait until I get my 2 monastery tiles back, or I would just go over here with this tile, trying to make sure that all the fields merge, and as black, I have a 15-point advantage of the fields for myself. Ale gets a tile which should go over here. He's overthinking this. Just play the tile where it belongs. Like, you go over here, there's still going to be 2 tiles that fit into this square, the cow tiles of the triple city with the field tiles, 75% chance, like with 23 points, with 23 points behind, taking a 75% chance on completing a good feature is just, like, fantastic. Okay, I have to look at that Gustavo Arruda game. Let them think a little bit. So we will be now witnessing a little bit from the Brazil versus Catalonia match. So what is going on? He's playing against Eduard York of Catalonia, who's so high rated right now. And with 6 tile remaining, where's that block? Where's that block? Where's that block? Where's that block? No, 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 no. Show me, show me, show me, show me. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oof. Blocked meeple over here. But look at this. There's this gigantic hole over here. And there's 1 tile remaining. For this guy, for these 2 guys to take over a gigantic city from red. It's not enough that Gustavo is 20 points ahead on the scoreboard. He wants to just destroy red by drawing the horse tile. Will he draw the tile that fits into this square? We will find out in just a couple of moves. Okay, Gustavo probably going to go over here and expand his 9-point field at the bottom. Really not that much that he can do. Okay, in the meantime, oh no. Ale didn't listen to us. He chose the indirect defense. And as a result, Loco Elo is able to invade this city with a 50% chance, and with that, I think Ale Rosalio's prospects are over. Okay, so each tile remaining. Gustavo does not draw the horse tile. All right, there were no horse tile remaining. What's the hype? Why did you have to hype this game up so much? This has been blocked for ages. My viewers keep misleading me. Yes, Vladimir, I know this now. But what was so special about this configuration then? When this happened, was it the case, were all these tiles still out? Like, was there ever a chance for Gustavo to take this over? Oh man, I wish we had been following that game. Well, anyway, we'll see that soon. Back to Loco Elo versus Ale Rosario. Oh, this is so painful. Look at this block in addition. It's now harder for Ale to get these monastery meeples back, but fear not. Ale found a great move. With this tile, it is just utterly fantastic. He pre-built a huge road for himself, and he drops a farmer that will allow him to connect into the field. This is just lovely, lovely. And he'll have a 15-point field versus a 9-point field. Almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no, that's actually ain't such a big deal. Because if Loco Elo goes here, there are still plenty of tiles that fit into that square. Okay, so Ale does draw the crossroad tile that completes the connection for himself. And whoa, 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 this is interesting. So it's a 15-point field in the center, and there's a 9-point monastery hole in the center. But here's the catch. If Ale draws the road monastery tile, he's not going to place it over here. He's just going to place it over here, giving him 8 points. Well, because he's going to score 2 monastery points for these guys and 6 monastery points for the new guy. And maybe then he actually has some chances. I don't know. He could also draw the quadruple city tile over here. So it's very, very difficult, but I think there may be a tile runout that can help Ale win. Okay, thank you for confirming the Belgian scores. In Sunny Blader's game, Sunny Blader's tied with El Gran Ohio, so there's going to be another decider which we're going to watch right now. Right after this. Actually, given that It's a bit of a difficult situation. Oh, going back to this, Gustavo Arruda managed to lose to La Nova Era simply because despite his scoreboard lead, these trapped meeples were too much, and the two monasteries of Edward were no match for Gustavo's 9-point farmer. So we congratulate the Catalan player, but we are going back to our main match. Ale still using his time. In the meantime, we're gonna start looking at Sandy Blader. Who for some reason is rated now 442. Maybe, I don't know, had some fun with expansions. Oh. Do you see what's gonna happen? Oh yes, we witnessed just the right moment. Perfect timing. This is so painful. Even though Santi Blader defended the square so beautifully, El Gran Ohio now drew one of the 3 tiles that put misery upon the entire country of Argentina. There are no tiles that fit the square. This monastery will be forever trapped with 8 points. This city will be forever trapped with 1 point. This 4-point road is precarious. Sandy Blader has still 0 points on the scoreboard with 15 tiles played. And it will be a difficult climb back for the Argentinian. However, he's trying to be hopeful. He meeples a new 5-point monastery. He wants to build a rhombus-shaped city over here. So he's still trying to do things. Continue his city and the monastery. El Gran Ohio probably going to block. While he does so, we're going to have a little bit of a distraction over here, as Ale Rosario is trying to build his monasteries. The road monastery still has not been drawn. Ale Rosario now pre-finishing his other monastery. Okay, this could be going somewhere. This could be something. Locoello, no good use for this road tile. Now, red absolutely must draw this monastery tile very, very soon, so that he can finish not only this monastery, but also these 2 monasteries, and then try to inflict as much damage as possible with these meeples. Ale, with a difficult tile to play. I don't really have a good advice here for the Argentinian. I just want to see what he does. Zvonimir of Vlach is asking, what's the backstory of naming triple city tiles cows and horses? That's just lingo from the Carcassonne, Brazil community. You have to ask them. I just adopted it because it's easier and it's more fun. But yeah, triple city with a road, triple city with a... It's a bit too much. Oh, but since we're watching the Spanish players, I think they're called Mazacote. Or Mazacote, if you are Locoella. But then it's like Mazacote con camino. It's still a lot of syllables. So Ale does not find... No. Wait. Or yes. Okay, it doesn't matter because Locoello draws a just gigantic tile. Oh, poor Ale. 9 points for the monastery. 6 points for unifying a 9-point field of black with a 15 points of red. And no investment of a meeple. Plus 40 for black. I think I still want to watch this brutality finish. There are only 5 tiles remaining, but with that, Locoello win this and win the match for Team Spain. It's only a matter of time as black meeples yet another ruin, and The Argentinian just does not seem to be able to catch a break. Well, finally, Ale gets a meeple back and 2 points. Oh! He was trying to do something different. He was trying to complete this city. That was also very, very smart. But it doesn't work because, again, the tile that he needed has been drawn by his opponent. Oh, the misery. We are not going to hear the Argentinian anthem today. Oh, Max, this is lovely. The name of the CCCF city tile from Ukraine is accordion. Oh, this is so beautiful. Do you say accordion or do you say bayan? Which would be like a Slavic version of an accordion, but without the keyboard, but just like with buttons on both sides. I see that there's a tense match between Belgium and Peru. We're gonna see what the score difference is. Plus 35 for Locoello. We congratulate Locoello on making a comeback in this duel, winning 2 versus 1, and for Team Spain for gaining the 3rd and decisive match point on the match scoreboard. However, it is not over because Sunny Blader against El Gran Ohio are still playing their decider, and not only winning and losing matters, but also tiebreakers matter a great deal. So losing 2 versus 3 is not the same as losing 1 versus 4. I'm going to see exactly what happens. Wait a second. So, somehow, as we were distracted, Sunny Blader turned this around, finished a 9-point monastery, built this gigantic, like, 18-point city, and then they are ahead. And basically the favorite to win this game. This is something else. I did not see this coming. Just to show that anything can happen in Carcassonne. But thank you for confirming, Wise Maze, that Peru is the first to be on the match scoreboard, as Sparkle Horsey defeats Karkaroff with 2 versus 0. Sunny Blader attempts to block the city of El Gran Ohio, but El Gran Ohio can immediately defend, and this is what he does, and these are the chances for the Spanish player to get back into the game and to inflict more damage onto the Argentinian nation today, because there are still 2 tiles that fit into this square. If Black gets one of these tiles, he's going to score 16 points for a completed city, and he's also going to drop a farmer for at least 6 points, probably 9 points, because this city is likely to get completed, and then we have ourselves a game again. So, Sunny Blader now wisely using the Dorito tile to block Black's monastery. And even though it's not a complete block, it's a very good block because even though there are 2 tiles that fit into the square, these are the same. This is the same type of tile that Black needs for this city. And the chances of drawing such a tile twice are only as 20-25%, actually a little bit less. And when Black draws such a tile, he'll have Sophie's choice, whether you save this monastery and save this city. Here, of course, it's obvious he will need to save the city and take all the points. So, This makes it so that the chances of this monastery meeple seeing the light of day again are exceedingly small. Sandy Blader with a typical straight line. Actually, why don't we go here and drop some insurance? Just meeple a 3-point farm. Yeah, well, same move with a farmer. Like, this is what I like. This is what I would have done. Maybe he wants to do this a little bit later. El Gran Ohio doesn't drop farmers just yet. Gets a 4th meeple back. 17 points on the scoreboard. Sandy Blader, now a chance to score 4 quick points, I think. And there's another field over here that has 6 points and they're going to have 9 points soon. I think both players, with half the game gone through, gotta hurry up dropping them farmers. Chop, chop. Time to farm. Harvest time. Even though, like, in reality, in Europe, it's like 4 months before harvest time. Or I don't know, maybe with modern crops, you have, like, multiple harvests per year and you genetically modify all crops so that you can just, like, harvest all the time. I'm not sure how it works. Yeah, this is how uneducated a city living person can be about farms. I'm doing my best. Thank you for confirming self-evident that Nicholas Victor has defeated the Peruvian player with a screen name Spakoon, and as a result, Belgium is also on the match scoreboard, and it is a match. An interesting move is played here by Santi Blader, foregoing quick points, but instead trying to do something a little bit unusual, hoping to start yet another city right there on the left. It's a little bit extravagant, but sure. Why not? Well, he can continue his idea. Ohio. Oh, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant move by Ohio, because it's not only a 4-point road move. The idea is to go here and drop a farmer. And if red draws the tile that goes over here, and black draws the tile that goes over here, all these farms will be unified into one. And you know who this favors? The player with the meeple advantage. And this is why Santa Blair is saying, I have these 2 meeples blocking the center. I'm not the player with the meeple advantage, so I better make sure that these 2 fields do not stay unified so that the game stays small. The unfortunate part for the Argentinian is that this gets him blocked because there are no tiles that left him to fit this square, and this meeple will be trapped here forever. However, if Sani draws a tile that goes over here, maybe drops a farmer, and maybe picks off some quick points over here for the city cap, he'll have like 9 points on this ruin, maybe even more. And he's gonna have a road, and then maybe even if El Gran Ohio goes over here, which he absolutely does. Oh, that's a big tile for the Spanish player. And of course he's hesitating. Just hesitating to inflict some additional emotional hurt. He deliberates, but of course he has not forgotten that finishing this city was the goal all along. Great city defense by El Gran Ohio. Santi Blader did not drop a preemptive farmer earlier on. This will cost him a tempo. Probably gonna go over here, continue his ruin at the bottom. But Santi Blader doing still just fine, because even though he has meeples blocked with 25 tiles remaining, you really don't need more than 2 meeples to complete the game, and there's still 3 tiles that go over here. So if you're Ohio here, maybe you can like go here and drop farmer, something like this. Oh no, 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 there's a crazier move. How about we go here and meeple this road and try to unify these farms like this through two curves, make sure that there's a big farm. Instead, he chose the conservative approach. He chose to drop a second farmer up top, hoping to secure this farm for himself. But this actually will allow Sandy Blader to drop a counter farmer at the bottom. Actually, it's kind of a standard thing in Carcassonne. If your opponent invests two farmers into a 9-point field, then it's a good idea to take 6 points elsewhere with one farmer. Or like if your opponent has a 12-point field with two farmers, then you can create yourself a 9-point field with one farmer and just then try to leverage the meeple advantage a little bit later. We have news that Gustavo Arrudo now equalized and came back from that spectacular loss to Eduard Yorca in the Brazil versus Catalonia match. Sandy Blader is just trying to drop curves in such a way, drop straight lines in such a way that blocks fields, and I expect his next move to be over here. I know what he's thinking. I have played with Sandy Blader a lot. He really thinks spatially about the field. He is not going to spare tiles and energy to try and strangle your opponent's farmers. Told ya. And look at this, how timely this was. Because El Gran Ohio was going to drop the divider over here, adding potentially 2 more cities to his field. But because of this move, he can't. However, there's still one more green square that Sandy hasn't taken care of. It's a bit hard to spot because it is indirectly in Black's field, and this green square is over here. So there's still one more place to drop the divider for Black. And the idea of dropping the divider here is that Sandy Blader will eventually draw the tile that fit into this square, and this will bring this square into the main field up top, which means that these two city caps will be adding additional points to these two farmers. He might choose to play differently. He might go for a crazier move and go over here and drop a 0-point farmer over here in anticipation, just making sure that if Sandy Blader draws this tile over here, then this and this city will be in the farm. But instead he goes for a third move, and he starts a new city at the bottom. At the same time, he may be able to steal the big city, but not if Sandy Blader goes over here and tries to steal the medium-sized city himself. Of course, Sandy will be tempted to go over here and score 4 points, but instead he plays conservatively and simply finishes a shared city and restrict options for Black. El Gran Ohio drops a farmer for a 6-point field. Sandy gets a very awkward tile to play because he really needs to drop a farmer soon, but he can't. So he's probably going to go over here, just continue his city. Or maybe he's going to go over here and drop a 0-point farm just to connect to this farm later in the future. Also, by the way, had Sandy Blader gone for the more aggressive approach of going over here and placing the city cap like this and unifying this city, he would have basically won the game right now. But now, El Gran Ohio is looking not too bad, and he does this. Oh, this is amazing. He realizes the importance of this field because, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's still one curve remaining, which with which El Gran Ohio can go over here and get this farmer into the main field, bringing 1 extra castle and 3 extra points into the field. So that's a very interesting preemptive farmer, which I actually have to agree. Okay, this game is so interesting. Let's just forget about all the other matches for a second. We are going to look at Belgium a bit later on. Also, I'm so surprised how long this match has taken. It has already been over 100 minutes. Certainly not the speed that I expect from Spanish-speaking players. Like, Oscar Bustamante finish his duel in 38 minutes, and here it's 100 minutes, and we still have 16 tiles remaining and at least 10 more minutes of play. Sandy Blader with a words in my mouth, streaming too long. 3 points for Santiago. Oh man, this is a streamer's life. El Gran Ohio. Coloca un meeple sul monasterio. Another monastery for black is what I'm trying to say. Black is also threatening to finish the city at the bottom. And black has control of the 9-point field up top. Black is doing pretty well for himself. Well, Sandy Blader wants a city for themselves. Can't blame them for that, as Ohio could probably drop a farmer here, decides not to drop a farmer just yet. Sandy Blader will go over here, like I have no doubts about that. He's gonna go over here, drop a farmer somewhere here, and then he will wants to draw the one remaining curve and one of the two remaining Dorito tiles to make sure that this meeple gets eaten up by this farmer and this farmer. And he's still going to be threatening to take the meeple back from here. He decides not to do it just yet, but I love the idea of doing that. Ohio is now going to meeple yet another monastery and try to forget about the field. That's my feeling. And my instructions. Now that I think about this, these two farmers with 9 points look a bit awkward. So Santiago has done a great job of building around this field and covering everything up. And whilst a 9-point field sounds great, 9-point field with 2 meeples is only 4.5 points per meeple, so it's really not a lot of points. And look at this. So 9 points for 2 meeples here, and 9 points for 2 meeples over here for red. So this is completely equal. No meeple on the monastery, regrettably for El Gran Ohio, as he does not care about content and viewers selfishly. But a great tile for both of the players. Sandy Blader gets to add a extender to his city, making it easier to complete and adding at least 2 extra points, possibly for Ohio. Is probably going to get some points over here if he notices the loose city cap, but maybe he has something else in mind. Thank you for confirming that CraftyRef120. So Belgium is now ahead, even though only a few minutes ago Peru was ahead in the match. Sandy Blader completes his city and now is in a good position to win this game, because this city brought him 10 points, and 10 points in a tight position is not nothing. He's 7 points ahead on this scoreboard. Got himself a new city in the field. And El Gran Ohio, look at this. He didn't even bother getting the city points. Instead, he dropped the farmer straight away. Can't blame him, because it's a 9-point field. And now suddenly there are some further ideas of field takeovers. So for example, if red goes over here, which he wants to do because he wants to get this 3-point farmer and unify with this 9-point farmer, El Gran Ohio can get a curve still to connect this guy into the main field, or he can go here and drop a farmer like this and then try to connect through here. But he only has one meeple remaining, so it's very interesting position spatially. Also, I have to note that both players are playing at a much higher level than their rating suggests. I think, I don't know, somebody had either a bad night or maybe just decided to play some expansions. So don't look at the numbers, don't trust the numbers. These guys know what they're doing. El Gran Ohio, will he drop a farmer? Yes, he does. Kind of putting many eggs in one basket, hoping to unify all the fields there. Well, Sandy Blader now finally completed his road, and he has 16 extra points on the scoreboard. This ruin for 9 points. These guys give him 9 points, so that equalizes the top field. These monasteries are 12 points together. So this gives Sandy Blader -3, so Sandy Blader as -13, plus 13. If El Gran Ohio goes here and manages to unify the field, he's going to be at +5, because the total value of all the cities in this area is 18 points, because it's 6 cities times 3. So I think the way Sandy Blader wins the game is just he does nothing about the field. So, you know, like what he should do, he should just go like here, meeple a 5-point road, or here, meeple a 5-point road, and then it should be enough. He decides to meeple the road up top. El Gran Ohio will score 2 extra points from continuing his monasteries. There is a chance that the Belgium versus Peru match, which started much later than Argentina versus Spain match, will finish before Argentina versus Spain. Well, it does seem that the Spanish player has started tilting, because this tile belonged here or here at the very least. Actually, this would have been an interesting move, trying to prevent the 6-point farmer that Sandy Blade is going to drop over here. This would have been quite technical. Well, surely the only way Santiago could lose now is to lose on time. Oh wait, no, I'm missing something. I think I miscounted the points. No, I didn't. I didn't miscount the points. Yes, thank you for roasting your teammates in the chats, Nicholas. Referring to a Belgian player who very often takes their time but is not on the lineup today. But somehow, of all countries, Spain has the longest match. I like had never seen that coming. We will have to look at the statistics. Which one of these guys spent more time? Oh, we also have news that Melvin Quaresma won 2-1 against Carquinyolis. So not a 2-0 win, so Melvin had to work for it, but we still congratulate Brazil for their first match points against Catalonia, which is also going on right now. We do see the farmer for red. Well, finally he got the curve. Surely he's going to use it over here. El Gran Ohio with 45 seconds. He got the tile that will grant him access to this 18-point field. But actually, it's only a slight upgrade if you think about this, because this field plus this field were already giving 15 points to black. Wait, I believe that both players are tied at the moment. No, I think Sani is at +5 or something like this. Yes, Sani is at +5. Now +9. And then after this tile is placed here, it's going to be +7. Something like this. While Eduard Yorka has, after all, defeated Gustavo Arruda 2-1, despite Brazilians' best effort to equalize, and now the match is on. Brazil versus Catalonia, 1-1. So we're going to see the final score difference, and finally the thinking statistics. That's going to be interesting to find out. So, who spent this much time? El Gran Ohio is going to get all the field points, but it's going to be not quite enough. As +7. Oh, look at this. I can still count. I'm happy about this. +7 for Sani Blader. Great farmer game. Probably like the highest level game we've seen today in this match, and the closest one for sure. The fields were not enough, so actually that's not that bad. 15 minutes for Sani Blader, 16 for El Gran Ohio. That's kind of quite reasonable. 27 points, not sufficient to overcome 26 points for Rhodes. Well, this is a bit unusual, but anyway, this gives the match points. No, yet another. No. It doesn't give a match point to anyone. It just gives an extra point to Argentina and some good tiebreaker points, but it is Spain who manages to prevail 3-2. We're going to congratulate Spain with that a little bit later, but in the meantime, let's switch to other matches, so at the very least we get to see Belgians play. I put the Belgian flag in the thumbnail, and now we're not going to see any Belgians. How come? Okay, so 3 of the duels of Team Belgium have already been completed, but we are going to look at naughty Belgium versus Peru. Let's go. Sicarius Lupus versus Nari from Peru. 1-1. That's the decider duel. Started 6 minutes ago, so still a lot of Carcassonne to watch. And it is the Peruvian player who's playing the green meeples and is 11 points ahead on the scoreboard, which is infinitely more than Sicarius Lupus has, because he has 0. But what he does have is a threat of completing an 8-point lip-shaped city. And he might even want to go over here with this tile just to prevent Nari from connecting to the city. Or he might say, I don't care, I just want to get points, and simply continue his road, because this road is also kind of vulnerable. If Nari gets some city tile, then he could place it over here, then this meeple will be trapped with only 2 points. It's already enough that this meeple is trapped. Even though there is a tile that fits into this square, there's actually many tiles that fit into this square, there is no tile that fit into this square. And look at this, yes, Nari decides to... Oh, yeah. The Belgian decides to sort of kind of save his own city, and that works. This is an interesting tactic. Even though the Belgian is making it harder for himself to finish the city, so he's reducing the number of tiles that fit into that square. What he does, he makes sure that simply green can't connect. So now green is trying to block, but Sicarius does not get a defense tile, but he gets an indirect defense tile. It's actually a fantastic tile for Sicarius Lupus, because he can go over here and semi-protect the square and start putting pressure on this square against Nari City. This is one of the best tiles that Sicarius could have hoped for. He just needs to decide on the orientation of this tile. He decides to place it with the wrong orientation, if you ask me. Again, I didn't count the probabilities. That was a rough estimate. But it seems to me that there are still plenty of blocking tiles that fit into that square. There are still 2 row Doritos. There are both dividers remaining. There are 3 regular city caps. As for defense tiles, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so Sicarius here is trying now. Okay, find this. He's now going to go here, and he's going to try and finish this with a combination of a starting tile and a Dorito. Oh, this is such an interesting thing. So the move here, I think, is to go here and kind of block yourself further, but it is not really a block because you have lots of good combinations. You have 3 tiles that fit here and 3 tiles that fit here that are good for you. Now, it is possible to get blocked there completely. So let's say we go here. There is a disaster scenario for us. No, not like that. Okay. Instead, he tries to block Nari, which also makes sense. And I think I understand the idea that he wants to maintain flexibility. Okay. Nari tries to connect to the road. Sicarius sort of kind of restricting Nari City. And surely now he will want to go maybe here. Yeah, maybe here, starting the new city, pointing to the bottom. Kind of restricting the blocking square for the blocking square. And I think the reason for the move of Sicarius here is that he wants to maintain flexibility. He wants to have the options of finishing this configuration through starting tile plus Dorito with the road, or triple city with the road plus a Dorito or a divider, something like this. But I do believe he would have gotten higher probabilities had he actually placed the other defense move. This is an interesting situation. Even though there was a disaster scenario in which he would instantly lose the game, the chances of that happening were actually quite thin. Well, that was quick. Teus Gladiador 1 versus Charoling 2 versus 1, and the Brazil Catalonia match has already concluded with a win by Catalonia, which is a bit of an upset. But my commiserations to Team Brazil and my congratulations to everybody who is rooting for Team Catalonia. So now only a couple of games remaining. All the 3 Iberian teams have prevailed in the first round: Spain, Catalonia, and Portugal. I would call it the Peninsula of Carcassonne. Nari draws a fantastic tile that helps them to not only continue their city at the top and threaten its completion pretty seriously, but also take away 1 tile that would have fit into this square for Sicarius to finish his city. Nari has a nasty move. I think a very nasty move for Nari is to go over here, But instead, they just decide to start a new city. And now Sicarius decides to not go here. Okay. I thought that was their plan all along, but they chose not to do that. Nari continuing their city at the top dangerously. There's still only 2 tiles remaining that with which they can continue and finish it. Well, not 2 tiles remaining. They need 2 more tiles to complete this city, but there's still many tiles remaining to do that. Nari gets a fantastic tile that gets him a meeple back and also pre-finishes the city. Sicarius dropped their last meeple trying to attack. They will now try and fight hard to maybe block the city at the bottom. Oh, the situation is difficult if you're Belgian. And the Peruvian anthem is so difficult to play on the piano. Well, anyway, I shouldn't be taking sides. So, the Peruvian player has a scoring tile, but what they're probably going to end up doing is going over here, trying to put some pressure on this guy. This is exactly what they do. Sicarius gets a scoring tile, but they can't take advantage of this because they can't have any meeples. They're probably going to end up adding 1 more point to their monastery, or maybe... Oh, okay, creating a blocking attack. That makes sense. Nari is going to go over here and meeple the monastery. Or Nari could go here, actually. Yeah, I rather like this. Meepling the monastery here. And the idea is that if Sicarius draws one of the 2 Doritos remaining, that then this meeple will become instantly blocked with 1 point. And if Nari draws a city cap tile, Nari can basically complete the city for red, giving red 4 points, but making sure that the more threatening city has been neutralized. Plenty of options for the Peruvian, but actually this move I think is incredibly strong, because if you take 6 points, first of all, 6 points, very nice, then either Sicarius draws a curve and goes over here and blocks 2 meeples off green. Green need not to worry, because green will be able to get another curve and score a 5-point road and get a meeple back that way. And he's going to have a monastery trap for 8 points, which is perfectly acceptable at this stage of the game. But if he's a little bit more successful, if he draws the curve himself, if Nari goes here, then they will be pre-building a 9-point monastery, a 5-point road, an 8-point city, and just lights out. So I think the move is to go here. Wait, what? Oh, okay. You do realize that I actually believed you at first. Shame on... I mean... I'll never catch a break from my viewers trolling me. But what I'm happy to hear is that Nari is meepling a monastery, scoring 6 points, and now saving their city. Oh, this is going to be painful, painful. For the Belgian, they need to get some meeples back ASAP, and Nari still has all the threats. Nari could like get a Dorito tile and a road Dorito tile and finish a huge city up top. This is just looking daunting. So, in all likelihood, the Peruvian player will end up winning this game, which is why I kind of want to start gradually looking at Nice Dicer, which will probably end up being the decider for the entire match. So, oh wait, they're still playing the second game versus Andrew MC. So this is they're taking their sweet time. And they started half an hour ago, so we just only have 2 tiles remaining. And Nice Dicer has 25 extra points on the scoreboard. However, it does seem that Andrew MC has control of the fields. We will finish watching this game first, and then we'll go back to see if Sicarius manages to climb out of their unenviable position. Nice Dicer gets a 6-point field on their penultimate move. Andri is probably going to take a 4-5-point ruin, something like that. Right over here. And Nice Dicer takes the final 7 points, 4 points for a city in his field, and 3 points for the field itself. Well, the scoreboard does not look great for Peru. Will the field be enough? I don't think so, but we'll still need a few seconds to check that. Seven points for the monastery, and the fields are counted, and I don't think the fields are this big. 18 points only for the main field and 9 extra points for Tom. And with a 20-point difference, Tom Deschmet manages to defeat their Peruvian opponent and bring the decisive match point to Team Belgium. So Belgium has their first win of the championship, going 100% in the tournament so far, winning against Peru. But it is likely to be 3-2 because Nari is doing very, very well. We came just in time to witness them completing a 5-point road and an 8-point city and getting a meeple back and still threatening to do this to complete a huge city up top. So we are probably going to witness a complete destruction or something closer to that. Well, Sicarius at least drew a good tile. They can go here, hoping to draw a divider, which they really should hope. Like, it's now all about hope. And then they may get something done. So here's the plan how we can score maximum points as Sicarius. We go here. Then we get to starting tile, we get a meeple back, then maybe we get some sort of tile to block the city from completion, to prevent it from completion. What else we can do? Then we get a divider and we draw a farmer here for 9 points. Then we get a city cap, we draw a farmer, we drop a farmer for 6 points. Still, none of that is going to be enough, so we're just relaxing here and seeing how the Belgian manages to at least come close. Oh, Nari finishing a road and dropping a farmer for a boatload of points. Oh, Nari. Nari doesn't even bother attacking this city over here. Well, Sicarius finally gets a meeple back. But even after he's going to get a meeple back, there's still going to be one tile remaining that fits into this square, and Nari could theoretically finish this city up top. Because there's still one Dorito with the road. And that would be a spectacular finish for Team Peru, no? Oh, of course, there's this other city, yes, which I completely forgot about. At the bottom, Nari scores more field points. Oh, the brutality. Okay. Sicarius should probably now go over here, limiting the number of tiles that fit into the square. But that might not even matter. Maybe the way for them to win, or at least come close, is to I don't even know. Drop a 6-point farmer, then hope to draw the Dorito tile that fits into this square, then the divider that fits here. Okay, or that, but Nari gets the divider himself and finishes the city at the top. This is filthy. This should be illegal. Oh, this is so unpleasant for Belgium. The Peruvian players plus 50. Okay, well, this 9-point monastery in the center, sure, will help. 26 points in the game only. Nari has also another point scoring move, getting 4 extra. Poor Sicarius only now finishes the city. He'll claim the 4-point road, or at the very least the 3-point field. Okay, well, I should have meepled something. The Peruvian player is going to take a 7-point monastery, and Sicarius just doesn't have good moves. Okay, 6-point field at the bottom is the move, if you ask me. You don't go here because if you complete the city, you'll be giving field points to this guy, and that guy doesn't deserve it. Well, okay, a bit of an imprecision from Sicarius, but not that it even mattered. What a massacre! Oh, I haven't seen this one in such a long time. And certainly we congratulate the Peruvian player with such a spectacular win and with giving their team the tiebreakers, but oh, the pain. Or the joy. Honestly, when I get such tiles, I love that. It's entertaining for me. And you know what? It gets especially more entertaining if my opponent's starting to complain. But credit to Sicarius, they didn't complain. They just took the minus 50 loss on the chin. And they can afford to do that because Belgium wins the match anyway. So 3 close encounters. Argentina versus Spain, 2 versus 3. Belgium versus Peru, 3 versus 2. Brazil versus Catalonia, 2 against 3. So now it's going to be time to congratulate the winners. As usual, I just need to do something with my setup because where's my stuff? Oh yeah, there we go. I need to do something with the setup. Feel free to, in the meantime, ask Carcassonne related questions if you want to do that. I'll actually go to the group standings first. No. I keep changing my mind. Anthems first. Okay. I'm gonna take a couple of minutes. Because clearly there were some upsets I haven't initially anticipated, maybe. There we go. Yes. Nice. Okay. I'm almost ready. This is not true. I'm not ready at all. I'm gonna need like 2 full minutes. Because there's 3 anthems. Yes, Catalonia has an anthem too. Let me just see what you all guys are saying. Yes, plus 51 to be precise. Oh, Team Brazil is always playing super fast Craft Giraffe. So, but we got a glimpse. I promised that we would catch a glimpse, and we saw a fragment of a crazy game between Gustavo Arruda and Eduard Yorka, and the Catalan player ended up winning, which was representative of the entire match. Craft Giraffe, I don't think I'm gonna do improvisations because I don't know, like anthems are supposed to basically people tend to not like when you mess with anthems. So they're gonna be the actual ones. Okay. I have not such great news. Today the anthems are going to be without the camera, but I promise this is me playing the piano. This is not somebody else. Okay. I am going. So first of all, we're going to congratulate Spain on winning against Argentina. Congratulations to all of my Spanish fans. And next, all rise for the winners of the second match, the national anthem of Belgium. Congratulations to my Belgian viewers. And finally, I will congratulate Team Catalonia. All rise for El Segadors, which is also known as kind of the national anthem of Catalonia. Congratulations to all of my Catalan viewers. The Jaws part wasn't in the original Craft Giraffe. It just sort of fit there well. Anyway, Melvin is saying, please play Brazil music to celebrate our... Yes, let me try actually winning a match first, then I'm gonna play the Brazil anthem. Alright, I think that's gonna be enough music for today. That's 5 anthems. Only poor Poland got left out because I wasn't planning to stream it. I wasn't streaming it, technically. So I've played the anthem of all the winning streams of the matches that I actually showed. So I am being consistent in a lawyerly way. Well, anyway, there aren't going to be further announcement about future streams because we don't know when the matches are happening next week. But before we take off, we just want to have a look at the tournament situation a little bit. What's going to happen after these 3 wins? And also, while we're at it, do remember to meeple the like button and to subscribe unless you have already. And if you're feeling extra generous, I have enabled the super thanks button, which would also help this channel quite a lot if you can afford it. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna look at Group C first. So Catalonia, no, not here, right here. And this is where we are, So Catalonia won against Brazil, and Colombia won against Latvia. So these 3 teams are at the top, and Brazil is currently in 4th place due to the tiebreakers. Latvia in 5th, Malaysia in 6th place. As for Group D, Belgium ties with Germany because Germany had a tough time against Vietnam, but they still won 3 against 2. But China is in 1st place after defeating France 5-0. That was just a stunning performance by the reigning world champions earlier this European morning. France is now in last place in this group. Vietnam is going to be in 4th place due to the tiebreakers, and Peru is going to be the 5th, I believe, or they're going to be very, very close to each other. And finally, Poland stunningly defeating Japan 4-1. Mexico is in 2nd due to the tiebreakers. Spain is now going to be in 3rd after the narrow win versus Argentina. And then Argentina is in 4th, followed by Lithuania and Japan. Japan, of all teams, who would have thought that they would end up in last place? 3 times world champions, but... I'm pretty sure Team Japan is going to bounce back, and Argentina and Spain will have some difficult times ahead on them. So that's enough streaming for today. We've had a look at many matches, basically 5 matches. Well, thank you so much. Make sure to meeple the like button again, and I'm gonna see y'all very, very soon. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all soon.